Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Cash, and this is Trucker News, hashtag Trucker News. We're going to talk about a company today called Forward Air, and I'm not opinion based on this. I'm just going to talk about it. I might have a little bit of opinion, but I'm not trying to put the company down. I'm just trying to bring awareness to the trucking industry and show what's really going on out here with these bigger companies. Not only are we struggling as small companies, some of the big ones right now are really getting in a situation that's pretty bleak. The reason I bring up Forward Air, I got a couple news articles I was reading about Forward Air, and they do not look good. The first article is from Forbes, and it says, will Forward Air stock see a recovery after a 75% fall this year? Okay. And as of me recording this video, today is June 2nd. So that's half the year, not even half the year, and they're already down 75%. The stock price for Forward Air, they're listed on the NASDAQ as FWRD. They were founded in 1981. They are based in Greenville, Tennessee, and you can go look them up if you want to. They are an asset light freight and logistics company with operations in the United States and Canada. The stock trades at $15 per share, about 90% below its peak level of $125 seen in January 2022. Forward stock was trading at $92 in early June of 2022, just before the Fed started increasing rates, and is now 84% below that level, compared to a substantial 40% gain for the S&P 500 during this period. Forward Air's upside post-inflation shock captures trends in the company's stock during the turbulent market conditions seen over 2022. It compares these trends to the stock performance during the 2008 recession. Forward Air stock has been weighed down lately due to its acquisition of Omni Logistics. Now, that is one thing that is weighing on them on top of a bad freight market, okay? So they tried to purchase a company called Omni, and I'll read more about that and give you more information on that. So not only are they struggling in the trucking environment, they also, it seems, no judgment here, just from looking at it, it seems like they poorly timed and poorly executed trying to buy this other company. Okay. And this Omni was a company they used a lot. So they said, hey, instead of spending money on that company services, let's just buy them. Poorly timed, it seems. So it says Forward Air had initially offered $150 million cash and 37.7% of Forward's pro forma equity shares to Omni. So that's how much they believed in that Omni company. They were going to give $150 million cash and more than a third of their stock to that company. It says Forward Air was also planning to absorb Omni's debt of $1.4 billion. Whew! Taking the deal to over a value of $3.2 billion. This raised concern among investors, including activist investors and Cora, which stated that Forward Air was overpaying for Omni. This led to a significant correction in Forward stock from levels of around $120 in early August 23 to $65 in just 2 weeks. So the stock literally got cut in half in 2 weeks in late 2023. That's how bad of a deal this was thought to be. Forward Air desired to get out of the deal amid raised investors' concerns, but Omni sued Forward Air to close the deal. Yeah, they want that $150 million you promised. There was a revised agreement draft making the overall deal worth $2.1 billion versus $3.2. The acquisition per the new deal was completed in January of 2024. Furthermore, transportation companies are seeing soft demand weighing on their earnings performance. Forward earnings over the last 4 quarters were lower than the street's expectations, so they've missed earnings 4 quarters in a row That ain't good. This didn't bode well for the stock. However, the decrease in forward stock has been far from consistent. Returns for the stock were 58% up in 2021, 13% down in 2022, and 40% down in 2023. In comparison, returns for the S&P 500 were up 27, down 19, and up 24, indicating that forward underperformed the S&P 500. In fact, consistently beating the S&P 500 in good times and bad has been difficult over recent years for individual stocks, especially in the transportation industry, right? So, I bring all this up just to point out, this is what's going on in trucking. And also, if you believe in forward air, if you do your research and you think they can overcome this and maybe get back to where they used to be, um, possibly could make some money off of this deal. Now, if you don't know about forward air is kind of when they say asset light, normally how it works is forward air owns the trailer and they lease on trucks and they do a lot of LTL. So if you look around, they have terminals all over the place. They pay contracted local drivers to go around and pick up their LTL freight in a certain city. And then, like LTL does, they bring that LTL freight back to the hub. They unload it, they sort it, and then they send it on to the next city, kind of group it all up and send it on to the next city. So if you think this is something that Forward could overcome, it seems like they've got a pretty decent business model. It's almost all contractors, so they can kind of ebb and flow when they need people and don't need people. Um, but it seems like this deal buying this Omni was really tough on them. I think a lot of the shareholders did not like the overpaying for that. So, um, who knows? Let's talk about this. I got another story about them here, and this one weighs on them from a debt point of view, okay? Because, they took on that debt from that Omni deal, so they're really paying for debt. So, Moody's, Fitch, downgrade forward air debt, stock decline now above 90%. And I'm getting this off FreightWaves. Moody's shifts outlook from stable to negative, unusual after a rating downgrade. Its stock having declined nearly 91% since the end of July, Forward Air now has been hit with two more downgrades of its debt rating. Moody's rating last week downgraded the ratings of Clue Op Co., a wholly owned subsidiary of Forward Air that was created following the so far disastrous acquisition of Omni Logistics last year. The Moody's action took down the corporate family rating of Clue Op Co. to a B2 rating from a BA3. That's a decline of two steps in one action. When one step increase or decline, trends are the normal. So that tells you right there, they're pretty concerned about the debt repayment. When they lowered you two levels, that's pretty bad. That's like your credit score dropping 100 points overnight. You lost. You didn't go from 750 down to 700. You went from 750 down to 650. You major drop. So that's what concerns me about Forward Air right now is all this debt they have in a raising interest rate environment. It's going to be tough, and it's like not only basically Forward Air is seeing what most Americans are seeing. Your interest rate on your debt's going up and your income's coming down, and it's not a good combination. Not a good combination. They say here's what they say about it. But the outlook for Forward Air debt at Moody's was changed to negative from stable. A more common scenario is that a company that had been on a negative outlook and sees its rating downgraded will then see its outlook change to stable, with the idea that the new lower rating more accurately reflects the company's prospects for servicing its debt. Dropping a company two ratings and then moving it to negative from stable is a sign of deep uncertainty on the part of Moody's. So that's something to be very concerned about if you do own Forward Air stock, right? Now, if you work for Forward Air or you're contracted by Forward Air, let me know in the comments. Have you seen things changing there? What's going on with them for real? I'd love some insider information on that. Not to trade on, not to trade on. I don't. Full disclosure, I don't own Forward Air stock and don't plan on buying it at the moment. The B2 rating at Moody's and a Fitch rating downgrade also last week are considered less than B1 rating and that S&P Global Ratings placed on Forward in February. That move by the S&P also was a 2-notch decline down from BB negative. So this isn't the first time they're getting downgraded this year, but the S&P rating issued soon after Forward Air and Omni Logistics settled their legal battle over the Omni acquisition in Delaware Chancery Court also came with a stable outlook in contrast to the negative outlook that Forward Air is now sporting at Moody's. At the time, S&P said the stable outlook reflects our expectations that the company is likely to achieve funds from operations to debt in line with the rating over the next 12 months despite the current freight recession. Fitch Ratings downgraded the default rating for Forward Air Clue Opco to B from BB negative AB rating. On the Fitch scale is considered equivalent to the Moody's. Okay, so that was like a 2-notch downgrade as well. But its outlook for Forward Air is not labeled as stable. Fitch had moved its outlook in February to negative at approximately the same time as S&P downgraded it. There is little positive in the Moody's commentary connecting to its downgrade. The rating downgrade and negative outlook reflect Moody's view that Forward Air's credit metrics will remain weaker than previously expected through 2025. The higher than anticipated leverage is due to a combination of significant increase in debt related to the acquisition of Omni and the sustained softness in the freight transportation industry. At the end of last year, Moody's said Forward Air's ratio of debt to prior 12 months before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization was about 6.7 times. It expects that level to remain above 5 for the next 18 months. Moody's does not expect a significant uplift in the industry until the latter half of 2024, and any further delay in the transportation market's recovery will constrain the company's capacity to withstand adverse developments at the current rating, said the report. So, let me know down there in the comments. What are you guys thinking about Forward Air these days? I still see the trucks on the road, but it's a pretty grim outlook they got going on there with taking on all that debt, Um, especially, it's just the timing of it is really what it is. I'm sure there was some money saved not having to pay Omni to make a profit, but just absolutely horrible timing on that. But that's trucker news, everybody. Thanks for watching the special report. Do me a favor, smash that like button. Become a subscriber if you're interested in that. I do trucker news, weekly recaps, crazy live shows. Come join me for one of those. And I appreciate everybody out there watching and supporting the channel. We're almost to 25,000 subscribers, so get on in it before the bandwagon takes off. I'm just saying, we're going to take this thing to the moon if I can. Appreciate everybody out there. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of each other out there. And remember, people are more important than trucking. How important is Wi-Fi? Very important. That's why I use Nomad Internet in my truck. Yes, sir. This is a Wi-Fi modem that you put in your truck. Check them out. Links below. This thing gets signal when my phone will not. So if you're ever stuck at that truck stop with no signal, you'll wish you had some Nomad in your truck.